And welcome back to Career Build Series 2023. This is episode number 18. And to do a little bit of recap, last episode we did a fire mission. We went down to the logistics hub. We put out a fire, rescued some people, brought them to Sawyer South. I went ahead and motored up here to the beginner base. I had to roll the save again. Had some issues with the incessant slowdown. There's something going on with that, so I have a hypothesis. I did a bunch of testing. I think it has something to do with too many missions stacking on top of each other and making fires. I had a ton of fires at the same time, and so I think it's trying to animate all the fire sprites at the same time, and it was just chugging the system. So I changed the timers on the missions, did a new save. Hopefully I'm not going to have to keep doing this. I really have never had this issue in career before, but I'm having it now. And so the hopefully what's going to happen is the mission length versus how often a mission comes up. It's going to take longer for a mission to come up, and so hopefully one mission will end before the next mission comes up, and that way I'm not getting like 5 missions up at the same time. And so if I really don't like a mission, what I was doing is I was sleeping, and so now I have the mission I don't like is up in the world being animated and using game resources, and then the mission I want might take me 3 tries to get. So now I have 3 missions up that I don't want to do, plus the mission I want to do, and so now we have 4 missions going at the same time, all using up resources. So now what will happen is, let's say a mission comes up I don't want to, I go back in the bed, I sleep, and then that mission will expire, and then a new mission will pop up, and if I like it, I'll take it. If not, I let that one expire. So it's going to allow these missions to expire, hopefully. And so let's get in there. So I gave myself a little extra capital. We don't have a ton of... Actually, now we're pretty good. I gave myself a little bit extra money to buy that base down there to the south. I will quickly do that. I bought this already in the last save, and so let's go ahead and I'll go down there. Let's unlock teleport. And again, there's another reason why I do creative menu on in my career games is, again, the game was having some issues. I could either get frustrated about it or I could just, turn on teleport. I gave myself an extra 15 grand to buy this island because I had already bought it. And so now we're down where we should be on money. So we're going to go back up here where we are. Again, creative is a great way to cut down the little eccentricities of the game. If you have a crash, if something happens, you have a glitch, and you end up, losing your boat, simple and easy to use creative and fix it. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that. All right, so we have a mission here. It's actually pretty good money. We're getting some good money off these. This is a small speedboat in distress is requiring assistance. Before, the missions were lasting like 480 minutes. That was, I think, part of the problem was the missions were staying up a very long time and compounding all their resource use. And so now this one's good for an hour. So we have to either do it or move on. And so I'm going to do this one. This one's 7 grand. It's only, it's a short distance. It's right here. It is a speedboat, so it could be any of this water here. So we don't have too much searching. The weather is nice. So we'll kind of come down, I think, the east side of the hospital island. We should be able, once we get about here, we should be able to see down to Sawyer North, see if it's sitting in there. If it's not, we'll traverse this area here so we can kind of see all around. And then if we really don't see it, we're going to have to go into the river. But let's go ahead and get moving. So there's just one thing I quickly want to change on the tug. There we go, tugboat right here. And I've been meaning to do this and I keep forgetting. So this needs to be green. Okay, good. Let's save it. I think I keep changing it and then keep forgetting to save it. So we'll save that and let's go ahead. One more thing. This here, I need screwed up, so I need to fix that. These just need to be flipped. So that is my fuel tank. That's why I have wedges in there. That also gives me more buoyancy to have wedges in there. I should probably put some flutters in there at some point, but I think we're pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll save this again. All right, let's head on out. Very much recommend everybody do a lot of backups. I do that all the time. Save my vehicles. I keep seeing a lot of horror stories in the discussions, Reddit, everywhere else, that people lose all their vehicles and saves. So I do backups pretty often, and that way you don't have to worry about that. Liking the new digital heading indicator and depth. Alright, so we'll head to the east side, as I said here. We'll keep a lookout this. Luckily, the weather is nice, and it shouldn't be too big of a deal to see this sucker. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, nav lights on. And we should be able to start looking here. So, what is a small speedboat? I don't know if it's a blue speedboat or not. A small speedboat. So especially for this vessel, it should be nice and easy. We've done this type of mission before. 7 grand's nothing to sneeze at. We're going to be keeping an eye out for loot crates as well, if we can grab any of those. Getting money is nice. I would like to get into some commodities trading. Start talking about it a little bit. One of the issues with commodities trading is it requires a lot of money to buy the liquid commodity to trade it, and so, you know, to run through the numbers, you could fill a barge, and I did some calculations. So let's say you had 200,000 liters. To be able to fill that with jet fuel, it's going to cost you almost 300 grand to fill 200,000 liters. Up there it is, right there, and you'll get 500 in profit, but you need to have $250,000 just to be able to fill the barge to even start that trading process. And so if you did something, the same barge, the same 200,000 liters, if you want to trade diesel, you only need 70 grand to be able to fill it. Now, you're only going to make about 22 grand in profit, if memory serves. I did the math, but I'm trying to remember it. You're only going to make 22 grand in profit, or no, about 30 grand in profit, which isn't bad. So you're going to actually be able to fill that barge. I tend to go with oil. Oil is going to net you more profit, so it would cost you about 154,000 to fill that 200,000 liter barge. And I forget exactly what it nets you, but it nets you maybe 200 grand, something like that. Yeah, 200 grand, I think, in profit. And so, you have to kind of consider that. So that's one of the reasons why starting out with diesel trading is approachable, because you don't have a lot of cash. We're sitting with 33,000. We could probably buy about 100,000 liters of diesel, and we could make probably 10 grand off that run. So that's kind of where we'd want to aim. Going off in jet fuel, you can get a very small quantity. You make better profit, but it's a small quantity. So you have to kind of decide that. Do I want to go for quantity? Do I want to go for just raw money? You have to have a lot more seed capital to fill some sort of barge. So if you have something tiny, going into something like jet fuel is really good. If you have something large, going after oil or going after diesel tends to be pretty good. All right, so we're going to start slowing down first. So I'm kind of getting the habit now of I'm just operating on one screw, one propeller when I really need to go slow, because our RPM range is pretty narrow. There we go. All right, hooked to that one. Oh, if you were only like a hair closer, I wouldn't have to get in this drinky poo here. Can I grab you with him? Trying to get him to come to me. I really don't want to get wet. Here. It's dangerous. Wouldn't really want to do this, but I'm going to back up just a hair to... They're almost where I can reach them. I'm just gently tapping up my reverse. I don't want to run over them. Oh, there's another one there. There we go. Okay. There we go. Trying to RP it a little bit. Trying to stay out of the drink. Alright, good. And now you are out of reach there, guy. Are you out of reach? You're probably just out of reach, yeah. Alright, so is there anything I can steal on here? Nay. Okay. Alright, so we're just gonna gently push up. I'm gonna try to stay dry. A little bit of RP, I think, adds to this. Just gently tap it up port. You see the needles just gently starting to move. And I'm going to go ahead and side strafe here. Just gently tapping them up. And that was hopefully trying to get a little bit closer to this person. Just taking my time. A little bit of RP in here, just trying to get better at operating this craft. You know, one of the ways is to do things like trying to stay dry. You'll actually get this in real boats sometimes where it's hard to not... you know, you're essentially having to click on and off the power because, you know, you have to rev up to get enough torque to actually start producing enough power. You don't stall the engine, and it rolls up your propeller, and you're actually, you know, producing more thrust than you would like. So this actually happens quite a bit. All right, so let's start going here. There we go. I'm gonna start letting out some cable here. And so where's this going? I don't need the boat, but I'll take it. I don't need the boat, but I am taking it for some reason. You know, this for me is a little bit more RP. I like the ones where we have to transpo the boat. It makes more sense, you know. You know, if you were just in a rescue boat that can't really tow, you would, you know, grab the people and let a tow service go do it. So I guess that's what this mission is kind of doing for us. You know, it makes it reasonable so you could have a really tiny rescue craft. That makes sense. But, you know, we have a tugboat here, so, you know, it makes sense for me to offer to tow them as well. Why am I turning a little bit? Turning a little bit. It's probably that's probably that boat behind me is pulling me. Let's grab a quick screen here. One thing I like in the next game is like a better cinematic camera. Especially those of us who are making content, it's nice to have kind of the ability to do some cinematic shots, some flybys would be nice. Oh, we're towing, aren't we? So we need our tow light on. There we go. Amber's on. We're towing less than 200 meter cable length, so nice to have the tow light on. Alright, so we're going to go up and I'm looking for... Let's go ahead over to this dock over here. As you can see, it's close to the hospital. I don't have to run as far with these dopey dopes. We won't give them too much grief. They're probably injured. So I have a little bit of power in reserve here. Let's power up. So not a bad speed. So we're doing, you know, 15 knots towing. Pretty good towing speed. So I played with some barges a little bit, trying to start talking about that, you know, doing some fluid commodities. So I would like to make some money, and so one of the best ways to make money is with fuel trading. You know, and so looking at that, I need to start getting some seed money to do that. So I need a lump of cash to be able to buy goods, and so I was gonna build a new barge. This tugboat is not very large, so what I'll probably end up doing is I already have a pre-built barge I built last career build series. I'll probably use that. You know, I've been doing a lot of building, especially building something like this and starting. It takes quite a bit of the videos is, you know, me building, making microcontrollers. Barges are usually pretty easy. The barge I have for the career build series, all set up. I think that'll be a little bit better just to kind of start with that barge. I don't have any tie-down ropes. I need to add a rope blocker. It's actually kind of a challenge trying to figure out where to put it. I might be able to put it in the back of this cubby and behind the sofa because that's kind of hidden. So I might do that. Because I don't have a premium of... I don't have too much space here. So I'm just gonna... So I need thrust to turn. I don't have rudders to turn. And even like IRL, you need thrust with a rudder to turn well. You can't really turn all that well without thrust. So I definitely need a thrust, especially on an azopod like this. You can't... Let's put you down for a second. I need to get us closer here. And so I'm actually going to detach them. Okay, ropes up. Let's go ahead and I want to go port azipod straight up, and I want to just gently start backing up my starboard. Should bring us over and bring the bow in a little bit. Just tapping up, and I'm trying to do a little bit asymmetrical where I'm doing more reverse than forward, so I gave it a couple more taps on that. And I screwed that all up. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit jumpy there. One thought I had, which I don't really like, is, you know, I'm trying to simulate real life with the game, and so one of the things is, you know, in real life, you don't shift gears on a boat. You know, there may be some obscure example that somebody's going to put in the comments, but generally you don't. You have one gear set, and you're just running that one gear ratio. Come on, man. Hey, don't completely act like a dope here. I'm trying to stay dry. There we go. Come on there, banana woman. And so, you know, you keep one gear rating, and so essentially I'm having struggles to try to keep my, you know, because my RPS range on this is very narrow. I'm doing a range. I think my idle is like 2.5 RPS, and my maximum is 5. So I have a very small window. And once it kicks in, you know, I have quite a bit of thrust there. So there's 4 grand. Why did it say? It said the ability. Listen, stop following me, please. Get in there. Straighten up, fly right, please. Thanks. It said 7 grand on that mission. Did it give me a bonus? It looks like, yeah, it looks like it gave me a bonus. Whatever. But, if I can remember what I was saying. Oh, yeah, so the RPS window is pretty narrow, the RPM window. And so because it's a very narrow window, oh, there's a crate over there. Nice. Because the window's very narrow, I don't have really good fine control. There's a good bit of cash right there. Nice. And so there are a couple ways I could do this. One, I could increase the band of the RPS. So essentially I could, let's say, go up to 7 RPS and decrease the gear ratio. And so I go from a 3.6 down to, say, a 3. That would also cut out a gearbox on either side, which would be nice. And that would give me finer control. I'd probably lose a little top speed, which I'm not too worried about. Losing a little... Oh, don't do it, you bastard. Don't do it. I am glad we have bilge pumps. I'm stuck here. See, when we get at that angle, I can't get around here. There we go. Okay. See, I'm up on this dock here. I need to get off this dock quickly here. Come on. Stop acting like a fool. There we go. Stop acting the fool. There we go. Okay, we came off of it. It was pushing me onto it. And so by increasing my RPS range, I get more granular control, and then decreasing my RPS, I can get better speed control. So I'm thinking of doing that. Also, my towing ability will be better. You know, ideally in game you want higher RPS for higher speed in the water. You can turn a larger propeller with more torque, but I'm trading my torque for RPS. I'm not going to go through there. That is a very low, that's shallow in there. Asking for trouble going through there as I struggle to steer here. Come on. Oh my god, I did not mean to go in here. I had this starboard azipod out, and I was struggling to, and I kept forgetting which key to hit to straighten it, because I always steer with the port azipod. See, I don't know why that stalls in reverse. When it gets below a certain RPS threshold, it is supposed to zero the clutch. I don't know why it's not, so I have to look at it. I bet I have a notion why it's doing that. I have some idea. I'll have to look at it, but I'm trying to keep it so it doesn't stall at all. Alright, so that was a good mission. I enjoyed that. We're not going to go back to base. We're going to go ahead and we'll anchor. So let's do that. let's go ahead and put our anchor down. Let's go ahead. I want to stow my rope here. I'm trying to think where I can put more rope storage. You know, this is my service panel here, so can't go in there. There's really no space in here. Yeah, there's no space in there. That's my service panel. That needs to be finished. A couple paint spots there. So on the real one, there's actually a locker up here. I might put a locker, but you know, again, in game, a lot of the parts are huge. Like those, you know what I could do? I could just make a custom door, and then I can make it as big as I want. I think I'll do that. So maybe storage locker up there. On the real one, there is a storage locker here. Sits on deck. You know, I really don't want anything where the cable would be. I don't like clipping, so I don't like it clipping through. One thing I could do is... Oh, I didn't mean to grab a flare gun. Let's tell you that right now. So one thing I could do is put some rope storage up here. I tried doing... I was going to do something cool where this couch tipped up and you had storage under here. I can't do it for a number of reasons. I have piping going through there and other stuff. But I'll figure out a solution to have some rope. So what do I don't have this reading. Alright, so that should be plenty. Once that is set, you can hear it sets the anchor once I let go. But nice little view here. Let's see if we can get a nice little sunset there. Alright, so let's go ahead. We'll go down and we'll take a nappy. So I want to shut off my engines, turn on the harbor gen, and we can leave. I can shut off. That's mostly just lights and screens, so that can just get shut off. And we can go ahead and go sleep. And so now we should hopefully be getting one mission at a time. I'm really hoping that is the issue that I'm having with slowdown, getting massive slowdown. I think it's missions. Because I had like literally 4 fire missions up at once, and it was just, you know, when I would get to the fire site, it was a super slowdown. Speedboat servicing, let's check that. Alright, this is a good one. It's close, and we can go grab, we can actually deliver it there, so that's good. Let's go ahead and go up. So this is very much what this boat is designed to do, is, you know, it would be a, you know, towing vessel, so. Alright, so start them up. Start on. Did they not shut down? They should have shut down. Oh. Let's grab, I almost started going with the anchor down. So we'll retract the anchor. We're only in 30 feet of water. Let's go ahead and we'll multitask here. So I'm going to come around the horn here and we will set a waypoint there. Let's look at it. 480 minutes. This is a long one. Okay, so I set the base time as 60 minutes, so some of them will come up for 480 minutes, but the interval is still high, so hopefully I won't get too many. That's not a ton of money for this, but, you know, it's not a bad mission. Yeah, just wait for this to get all the way up. The way my anchor system works is pretty simple. If it's either going up or down, it shuts off the magall. This is good for if it will auto-attach to the front. When I shut it off, it will also, I can let it all out, and then as soon as I click the button off, it will attach, so it makes it nice and simple system. Transponder locator is something I want to put in this at some point. I already have a system set up, I just need to install it. I don't think what else. I would like to put in a radar. I want to make my own radar. That's going to take some work. I have to, you know, I'm not great at Lewis, I have to figure that out. Try not to cheat here and look at how far down the anchor is, but it will eventually stop making noise when it's all the way up, so it'll just take a second. We're not producing a ton of electricity. I have to look into my electrical production. I think the reason why it's doing that is the way that the game calculates electricity is a little funky. The way I have my system set up is a little bit funky. It's reading all the batteries and adding them together while I'm only turning on some of the batteries, so that I'm, you know, essentially putting batteries in reserve. So we can actually test that out now. So let's go ahead and set that autopilot. We're only 1 nautical mile, so we're about 4 minutes out. So let's go ahead and let's switch batteries. So we've been operating on the port battery. So let's go ahead and click on starboard, click off port. And then let's see what so we're looking at 86. Yep, okay, so I think that's what it's doing is Yeah, it's definitely what it's doing because, you know, we would be at 100% now. And so, oh, come on, man. So what it's doing is it's reading all three batteries. One of them's at 100%, one of them is lower, and then it's essentially averaging them. Where, frankly, what it should be doing is it should be, you know, it should be running off just the one we're running. So I might change the system up a little bit. Let's see. All right, so I will see you guys when we get there. So here we are. It's a pretty quick trip out here. I'm really digging the waves being a little bit heavy here. This is nice. I'm trying to quickly enter stuff in here because my autopilot's still screwed up a little bit. Alright. So, try the endeavor to stay dry here. Can it be done? It might be done. This will probably get wet in here, but that's fine. Okay. It's okay if our feetsies get wet. That's fine. Oh, come on, jump up there. Jump up! Oh my god, I almost did it. I almost stayed dry, but... For that, I'm stealing your rope, dude. Make me wet. There. So this is nice. I like having some rough weather here. Again, puts the storms and storm marks. Nice and challenging. So that will pump out. That should be pumping out automatically. Nice, nice. Let's go ahead and put some deck lights on here. I don't need all of this. And let's go ahead and let some cable out. Alright, and let's go ahead to Sawyer North here. That's plenty of cable. And we have a following sea, so... Alright, let's see what time check. Make sure I'm at full thrust here. It's about 9 minutes. Yeah, it's descending. Alright, so I will see you guys when we get there. Alright, so we're here. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to move it up a little bit, get it close to the dock. Probably take the autopilot off. I'm very slow hitting the autopilot there. So I'll park it up right here. Yeah, try not to do what I did last time. Try not to do what I did last time with this riding up. So I did the same thing last time. I had the bow rider there, or the sport boat, or whatever this one's called. Get out of there. I'm going to do it again if I'm not careful here. So I'll attach this rope there, just have a spare rope, and if I do this again, roll this sucker because I'm not paying attention. I'm going to be annoyed. Again, try and do more RP. There we go. There's the delivery. Try and do more RP where I actually, like, do it realistically. Have to grab the rope like this. There we go. All right, nice. So a little bit of cash. Not a super duper profitable mission, but it was a nice mission. You know, it's nice to get these in, especially, you know, this is the purpose of this type of boat. So it's nice to actually, you know, utilize it for its purpose. All right, so I think we'll call it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, a little bit shorter one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.